Hi everyone. I wanted to hop on kind of quick today, and I'm going to try this little gadget that I found at the store, and I'm hoping it will work. So I'm going to test it just in case it works and I want to keep it. I'm going to test it on this clean canvas. If it doesn't work, then I've got another practice canvas. But today I have 5 colors plus the layer of white that I'll be putting down, or white and whatever other color I decide. So it is going to be a 50-50 mix again. I'm liking the 50-50 mix with Mod Podge as opposed to 60-40 with the glue that I usually use. So I'm going to go back to the 50-50 using Mod Podge, and today I am using Sage Green from Craftsmart, Deco Art Dazzling Rich Espresso Metallic, and Artist Loft Deep Magenta. And then we have Artist Loft Deep Yellow, and Artist Loft Ivory Black. And then the white is the Artist Loft Metallic White. It's not like a stark white, and that's kind of why I like it. It's not a shocking white, but has a little bit of shimmer to it. So I'm going to mix these 50-50. It's kind of a fall feeling. That's what I got when I was out yesterday. Some of the colors are starting to turn already here. So I am going to do my 50-50 mix in these colors, and I'll just do one, so that way everyone can see. I don't know if you can see that. So it's really not a lot. For this size canvas, for the swirl technique, it's a 12 by 12, so a 3-ounce cup is what these are. If you fill a 3-ounce cup, that's the perfect amount. You don't need any more paint than that, otherwise it just gets wasteful. And then you put a real thin layer of whatever base coat you want. So I'm going to go and fill up the rest of these cups, and I will be back in just a second. Alright, so here we go. This is a little thing. I don't know why I picked it up, but I did because I thought, hey, this might work. You never know. I mean, it's a little bit sloped. Hopefully you can see that. Where this edge is a bit higher, so it's a little bit of an angle. But I'm still going to try to make it work. So I imagine if we did it this way, you could pour some nice ribbons with it possibly, although large. But I'm going to try and tip it this way, so we have the angled edges coming out the same. Make sure I can do it that way. Yeah, so I'm going to try it that way. So this could be a disaster. I have not tried this yet, so I'm just doing it with you guys right now. So we will see how that works out. So I'm going to try to do the 2 edges, the lowest edges, and I'm going to put my white, my ivory black, and my metallic, what was it, Rich Espresso on one side, and then I'm going to put my sage, my deep yellow, and my deep magenta on the other side. I've made more paint than I need. And I did that because I'm going to try it on another little board after this. So just keep in mind, if you make extra paint, all you have to do is have enough for a 3-ounce cup. So really, these 3 right here are more than enough. 2.5 colors are more than enough to fill what I need for this project. But we are going to start with our black and our white side. So I'm going to do this side. This would actually be a cool thing to divide your paints up too, like side by side in each one or this way. Because it's large enough, you should be able to do that. Might be kind of cool, right? And I am going to put my espresso. I'm going to try to keep it on top. I don't really want it to filter to the bottom. And I'm not going to put all of this black in there. And then we'll do a little bit of our black, just a thin layer. And we don't need to use it all. And then on this side, we have our white on the bottom. So I want to try and match colors up in the layers that we have there as well. So any of the colors will go nicely with white. They'll all look pretty. With the rich espresso, the yellow or the pink or magenta would probably look the best. So I know that these two, this one has to be on top or bottom. I'm going to put this one on the top with the black because I kind of like that look. So it's really about these two now. So I am going to put the magenta on the bottom layer. And remember, you don't need to use all the paint if you've made extra. And this yellow with the magenta should make a pretty color too. It's rather large opening, so you have to spread the paint out more than you would normally do, so I'm not sure how that's going to look in here. But we shall see. This should be interesting. Okay, so now we have our paints layered. This is the point where you need to put your base paint on. And I know some people are still asking why that base paint. And some people are just doing the pour on the plain canvas or board. You can do that, but you'll use more paint because you have to have more paint on the surface because there is going to be, I guess, tension for lack of a better way to explain it, or more grab. So if this surface is dry and you pour the same amount of paint that I pour on a wet surface, you're not going to get the coverage that I get from having a wet surface. So you need more paint. Otherwise, you're going to get those zigzag lines and distorted rings. But if I have a wet surface, I don't need as much paint because the paint on here is helping it flow across the surface, which causes you to use less paint because you can use a thinner paint. So what I am going to do is my little half and half, because I kind of liked that. So I'm going to do half and half. So we'll do white, and then we'll do the other half in black. And you should be able to pour this down it should be thinner than the paint you're using for your pour, because you don't want it to thicken up on you. If you do find it to be a bit thick, you can actually add a tiny bit of water to it and mix the water in well. I know that's not the proper way to do it, but if you don't want to scrape it all up, you can do that. And yes, I have had to do that when I was trying to figure out how to make this work for me. I did that a few times because it just seemed like the paint was thickening too quickly for me for trying to figure out how to do this. I needed it to stay fluid a bit longer. And you don't have to be perfect by any means. You can just put the same color down. You can put different colors down. Whatever you feel like doing. That's the fun of painting, isn't it? You can turn anything you see, you can change it to your liking. And it doesn't matter if anyone else likes it, as long as you like it. That's the beauty of art. It makes us feel happy, even if no one else likes it. And who doesn't want to be happy, right? I used a bit too much. I think that's okay too. We'll just scoop it back in our cup. You really don't need a thick layer of paint either. I just want to remind everybody it should just barely cover the canvas, because you don't want to waste paint. I mean, you can obviously put a thicker layer on if you would like to, but it isn't necessary. But again, it's up to each person, you know, whatever you enjoy and whatever you like, whatever works for you. Oh, let's see, did I get all that? Alright, so that one is done. And now we're going to do the other side with the black that I mixed. And I took half of the black out of the cup and I poured it in a squeeze bottle, and then I watered it down more in the squeeze bottle because you don't really want it the same thickness as what you're pouring. You want it to be a bit thinner so it will stay fluid longer. Oh, I just splattered. That's okay, that looks kind of neat. Doesn't this look like a fancy dish at a restaurant? A chef would be splattering color everywhere. And I don't mind having a little bit of white streaking in there. It doesn't bother me at all. So, for me, it's okay. When you go to push this up to the edge, just make sure that you're not creating a big ridge, because that will show up through your pour and it'll look like you have a lump in your pour. So you want to just make sure you smooth that where it comes together, smooths it out. You can tell my black paint was a tad bit thinner in my pour bottle than my white was, because you get those little, I don't know what you guys call them. They look like little branches, little tree branches. You start to get a little bit of those if your one paint is thinner than the other and they're touching, which is kind of cool if you're trying to get it. If you don't want it, it's not so much. Oh my goodness. How is this going to work out, I wonder? Have any of you guys tried this? If you have, can you comment? I would love to know if it worked for you or if it didn't. I have no idea yet because we're going to do this together and see if it's a flop or not. I'm kind of wondering. If it's a flop, I still have a cool paintbrush caddy, right? That's a far better use for that thing than holding sponges like it is made for. I'd rather hold my paintbrushes or paint sponges that are used for spreading or whatever. Anything painting. Far better than just holding a sponge, a cleaning sponge. Alright guys. Okay, now normally I would say there's a circle of paint down there. The reason why the circle of paint, it's not just about fluidity, that does help it also, but I would normally put in different paintings that I want some shimmer to, some metallic, pretty color under there, because it will kind of seep up through different areas in your painting. But I have some metallic in this, so I don't really want to try that out. All right, we're going to see what we get. Should I do it this way? Let's do it this way. Oh. I'm going to do it the thick way now. Now I can tell the downside of this is going to be when you come down to the end, is getting them timed right, not to let them drip. Definitely more paint on this side. Definitely my black was thinner because you can see the paint flowing faster than it is in the white. But I think that worked okay. I'm going to have to try this again, guys. Definitely going to try. Ah! Definitely going to try this again. Now that I'm not so scared to try it. That's really kind of cool. Especially the way it's reaching out around the other one. And I would assume that's because those things are so wide instead of just a normal little pore. That's really cool. I'm going to put this on pause and come back for a second so I'm not shaking the picture around and showing you what it looks like. There you go, guys. I kind of like that it reaches around that black. I'm going to have to figure out why it did that, because I like it, and I think I might have to try that again. Okay guys, we're going to try and tilt. Let's see what happens. I know my black paint side is thinner, so this is going to be a tad bit tricky because one side of the painting is going to want to flow more quickly than the other. So that makes it a bit odd. But we are going to see. And this is the part where a lot of people start having problems maintaining any kind of shape But I just want to reassure you guys, you don't have to keep the shape the way it is. There's so many other shapes you could create with this. And they don't all have to be rings. I mean, the lines are nice even when they're not circular. So I just want to make sure I tell you all that. Don't be disappointed if you lose some of the rings, because sometimes it's a very cool look. Wow, this black is so much faster. So you have to move even slower. Otherwise, you're definitely going to get a lot of distortion, especially on the other side where the white is not as thin. So that paint's going to want to move slower. And the only reason I do like different colors underneath or multiple colors is because I like some negative space. So it's cool for me to let some show through and to have different colors on either side. But if you don't care about negative space going into it and your intent is to cover the whole canvas, by all means, just, you know, paint it all whatever color you want the bottom to be. You can make some cool shapes. If I were just to tilt this quickly diagonally, you'll get that shape like a, to me it looked like a spinal column. You know, a bunch of vertebrae. And I love that one. But not everyone will. So it just really, it's going to depend on what you want. So just play around. I think this is kind of cool. Just remember, guys, art is different to everyone. And you don't have to like a certain technique or a certain painting or a drawing, because it is unique to each person. We all see something different. That's the beauty of loving art, is that we all see something different, and it means something different to all of us. I like a little bit of black here, I think. So I'm just going to put a little bit more. I tipped a little bit too much down there. And it's just kind of fun. Sometimes just go ahead and play. And I'm going to go around and check my edges. But I think, yeah, they're all covered well. That's a first. One little tiny spot right here. Well, what do you think, guys? What do you think of the gadget? Should this be best kept as a bathroom sponge holder or good for pouring? Let me know. Comment in the comment section, and let's start playing with this if you like it. I know I'm going to play with it some more. I would guess that this does some really cool ribbons if we can just kind of flow it out and then back up and maybe keep going, or by twisting and turning it you get the thicker and thinner ribbons. So maybe that'll be somebody that's good with ribbons, because I have not done them. I can try, but I got this at Walmart, guys, so it was just over in the little bathroom section if you guys want to know, and try it. Otherwise, I will show you something else I'm going to be doing. So I picked these up too. It's 3 square packs of toothpicks, and the top comes off. And there's these little holes up here where you can pull the toothpicks out. Well, those little holes are going to be a place for me to pour. I'm just going to drill them slightly larger. And then I'm going to try that and see how we do with a triple. So that could be fun. All right, guys, that's it. I guess if you like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know. It's just another way for you to have some fun and goof off with this tree ring thing. This one truly, truly has enough separation that it is 2 totally double different rings. Now, the cup that I was telling you guys how to make, that's really more of the yin-yang thing. So it's like half a ring, and it looks like it's one, but 2 totally separate colors. This has 2 separate centers and middles. So it's kind of cool. I have a lot of ideas in my head just looking at this. So I hope you like it. If not, sorry, I'll try again with something else later, okay? If you guys have any questions or any troubles trying to get this technique down, feel free to reach out to me, or I'm sure other artists would be happy to help you. There are quite a few out there doing this really well right now, and most of them are open to helping people. So that's it. I'm going to take this down, and I will add some pictures at the end for you guys to see what it looks like. Thanks so much.